Harry, it was quite a different Big Bash for you this year to when we spoke around this time last year. What was your overall feeling about your time with the Renegades?
Yeah, I mean, from a cricketing perspective, it was obviously not how we intended for it to go. I think it was a little bit of a perfect storm. Without making excuses, there were a couple of games, a couple of things that went against us that might on another day have gone with us. And you know, the overwhelming thing is we probably didn't play, or we definitely didn't play as well as we know we can. So, and there were a few injuries and things like that. So, bit of a disaster from start to finish, but one of those things that you just sort of draw a line under, and hopefully the Renegades can go close to winning it again next year, or even win it. Injury
for you as well while you're out there, which must have been pretty frustrating.
Yeah, you sort of forget. I've been really, for the majority of my career since I joined Notts in late 2011, relatively injury free. Obviously you have the odd niggle here and there, but to get an injury like that, which was reasonably significant and ruled me out pretty much the whole comp, I played the first 4 games out of 14, was really disappointing, and it reminds you how frustrating being injured is actually, because as I say, it had been a while since I've had an extended period on the sidelines like that.
How's the recovery going?
Yeah, I'm pretty much fit again now. You know, I think had Notts made had the Renegades made the finals of the BBL, I probably would have been fit to play a part in that, but unfortunately they didn't, so I'm sat back here in the cold instead. But yeah, the hamstring's pretty much there now. I've got a 6-week block before the IPL where I'm sort of going to get stuck in and do a little mini pre-season really, and try and get as fit and as strong as I can.
What were your emotions when you were out there after getting injured? The Renegades started to pull things around a little bit, but was there some frustration that you couldn't be part of that?
Yeah, a little bit. I felt, if I'm honest, I did watch 2 or 3 games and think I probably could have had an influence on the outcome of the game, which is really frustrating. And actually, as one of only 2 overseas players, you do feel a certain element of guilt as well, because, as I say, it was I'd sort of let them down in that regard. But you know, injuries are part and parcel of playing professional sport or playing sport at any level, and you have to deal with them when they come along. And as I say, I'm fortunate that for most of my career I've managed to avoid any major ones. And yeah, it was frustrating, but it happened.
You were replaced in that side by Samit Patel for his first spell in the BBL. What did you make of how he went?
I thought he did really well. You know, he's Maxi Klinger rang me and said, you know, what do you think? And the same with Dan and probably various other people, I'd have thought. And you know, Samit's figures don't lie. He's an outstanding cricketer. He's, in my view, one of the best ever Nottinghamshire cricketers, which sounds like a huge shout, but I think it is the case with Samit. And I think at the end of his career, well, already, if you look at the numbers, they don't really tend to lie in cricket. Across the formats, he's scored a huge amount of runs and taken a lot of wickets and contributed to winning lots of games and trophies for Nottinghamshire. So there's no reason why he can't do that around the world in various other teams, as he's already started to show. What
did you make of working with Klinger out there for the first time?
Yeah, a lovely guy. Obviously, a huge amount of cricketing pedigree, an incredible batsman in his own time, and now embarking upon a coaching career. And I think my biggest fear going over there, when you have a change of coach just before a tournament like that, your biggest fear as a player is, particularly in a successful environment, the new coach is going to come in and try and stamp their authority on it and change things and do things their way. And I think Michael was very conscious, or it seemed that he was very conscious not to do that. And actually, despite the fact we weren't winning games, the dressing room environment was very similar to last year. And actually, the way he behaved around the players was not dissimilar to Andrew MacDonald, which, in my opinion, is not a bad thing, because I think he's the best coach in the world.
In those games you did manage to play, you got Alex Hales out early doors in the competition. Is that a little bit more special in some ways, getting a fellow outlaw out?
I don't know about special. I guess nice. You know, when you play against a player of his quality who you've played so many games with, you've seen him be so destructive in the past. I think I'd certainly rather be getting him out than getting smacked by him, that is for sure. But I did get a little bit lucky, to be honest. It was a slot ball and he flicked it straight down D mid-wicket's throat. But I'm sure at some stage over the season I'll remind him.
And what is next for you? Is it prep for the IPL now?
Yeah, IPL. So with only playing T20 cricket now, I don't really have an extended off-season period. For the majority of my career, I'd have had a sort of 5-month stint every winter where I can get fit and I can get strong. And with playing lots of tournaments on and off around the world, you get less of that. So I'm focusing on the next 4 or 5 weeks before I fly off to the IPL as a real period where I can work hard on my strength and my fitness, and injury prevention stuff, rehab, prehab, all that kind of stuff, so that when I arrive in India, I'm ready to go, because once I get there, it's pretty much continuous cricket after that for me for the next 6 months.
Well, best of luck for it. Thank you.
Thank you.